Hello and welcome to Beauty Blast Live, and we are loud, live, and in color here. And I'm Jaray Daniel Banks. This is Miss Ebony Steele. I just want to show you guys a couple of my favorite ways to create A-list celebrity looks without having to be super crazy. A lot of the time you see all these Instagram looks taking 15 to 20 minutes. And I know you don't have time for that, so we're going to take about 3 to 5 minutes today. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite ways to make sure you have beautiful skin. Now we're going to start off with step 1. This guy's going to be Bye Bye Foundation from IT Cosmetics. Now this is beautiful to make sure that we're going to go ahead and even and neutralize all of our skin and complexion. This is also going to be a 5-step way to go ahead and get your moisturizer, your SPF, your foundation, and your primer all in one. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but just wait and you'll see. So we're going to start off with 2 pumps here, 1 and 2. Now we can always go back in for a little extra just in case you feel like you need a little something, okay? When I'm using this product, I want to take a double-ended brush here. I'm going to start by making sure it goes directly into the brush. We're going to blend directly onto her cheekbone to make sure everything looks nice and neutral. Now, a lot of the times you might see that your foundation is looking a little lighter at first. That's okay. You don't always want to make sure that it's completely even, because with your setting powder, it'll neutralize to make sure that you're having a nice and neutral finish. Now, by using the Bye Bye Foundation, you're going to be receiving an all-in-one finish. So not only are we going to be seeing that we're going to have moisturizer and hydration, we're also applying her primer all at the same time. Now, this is great for those gals who are on the go, because sometimes you don't have time to be doing the skincare and then the SPF and then the primer, and you have to wait in all these layers. Ain't nobody got time for that. So instead, let's just go ahead and make this an all-in-one moment by blending directly onto the skin and creating a nice and even finish. Now, you don't always have to use your brushes. You can actually use your hands as well, and it does create a very nice and neutral finish too. So now we're nice and even out in our complexion. The Bye Bye Foundation went ahead and smoothed her complexion out, still making sure that she's nice and brightened, but also hydrated. The beautiful part about Bye Bye Foundation is that your skin's not gonna feel super heavy. Too often, I see several women who look or feel like their foundation is very heavy in their skin, and by applying something lightweight like a tinted moisturizer, CC cream, or Bye Bye Foundation, you're not gonna feel like you're stuck behind a glass vase all day. Alrighty, guys? So next off here, we're gonna go into a little bit of full coverage concealer. My favorite is from NARS. This is going to be their full coverage matte concealer. Now with this guy, we're using the shade Caramel for Ebony, and we're gonna take a small amount and use it directly underneath her eyes. Notice I'm gonna start going into a small triangle shape here. The reason being is because this is going to help to brighten and highlight her under eye. Too many times people just apply a little bit here and a little bit on the outer corner of the eye, thinking that that's just gonna do the job. Instead, we wanna completely brighten that under eye, and by using this double-ended brush, I can go right back in to make sure she's not seeing that crazy streak of concealer on her cheeks. You never want to go out of your house unblended, honey. No one wants to see an unblended face just in general, okay? So make sure you take that extra 2 minutes to see all that smooth blending on your face. Now, when we're applying the concealer, did it feel like we applied a lot?
Not at all.
Right.
No.
Less is more, guys. Using a small amount of your concealer, little dabble there, going directly from her inner corner, going from her outer corner, and then pulling any additional in the inner portion here, then going back into her inner portion of her eye and blending from the inner corner outwards will help to make sure that we're seeing a very soft amount applied and that we're still blending. Now immediately we're not seeing any dark circles. Now Ebony doesn't have any dark circles, right girl? However, we're gonna make sure they're nice and even out either way, okay? Now, as the day goes on, sometimes a lot of gals feel like their concealer wears out or that they're not seeing that brightness continue in their face. With the NARS matte concealer, you're not gonna see that. Instead, it's going to be really soft on the skin and it's gonna last all day because it's a full coverage concealer. Now, this is a big difference. You don't always wanna do a full coverage foundation and a full coverage concealer. Think about buying one or the other. If you're gonna do a full coverage concealer, stick with a lighter weight foundation. If you're gonna wear a full coverage foundation, stick with a lighter weight concealer. This will create the perfect equation to make sure that you're not getting too much on your face all at once, okay? Now, as we're seeing, her skin is nice and brightened up. She looks nice and light. If you have an extra second, go ahead and go to the high points of your face to make sure that you look nice and bright. So right now, I'm going to the bridge of Ebony's nose, right over her cupid's bow, and going to her chin as well. Now, when we're applying concealer in these areas, this applies a very quick and even finish to make sure that we have a highlighted look without looking overly heavy with contouring still, guys. So next, we're gonna go ahead and set our face. Now, too often, you guys have been hearing about baking and cooking and all this stuff. That's all for drag queens, girls. We're gonna leave those for the queens later on, alrighty? Instead, today, we're gonna set the face. By setting the face, it's going to make sure that we have a smooth finish in the skin and that we're also seeing a neutral look in the skin as well. Now, remember earlier, I said you're not always gonna have the exact look of your foundation right on your skin. Instead, your powder should go ahead and neutralize this. As you can see, as soon as we apply this onto Ebony's skin, it starts to smooth out her skin and give her an instant filtered finish. Now we can take this guy all the way up to her eye, and we can also blend this all the way down to her cheeks. Notice immediately it softened out her complexion on the right-hand side, whereas the left-hand side we have this beautiful dewy finish. Now sometimes a lot of gals are thinking, ooh, but the powder is gonna dry me out and I'm gonna look like a cake face and desert, X, Y, and Z. Don't worry about that, honey. When you're using a loose powder base like Cover FX is, it's made out of silk. You don't have to worry about your skin drying out because this is a loose hydrating mineral. So we're gonna do this one more time just so everyone can see. Load up your brush, dust off any excess, and go right into the skin by setting onto the face. Now this is my favorite thing to do, especially for anybody who's worried about any texture in the skin or the skin looking a little bit too matted or too dry. The powder is going to make sure that you have this beautiful soft finish all day long. Now we're gonna do what I call a queen sweep. There's no baking underneath the eyes once again, ladies. Squeeze your brush, tap right underneath that eye, and sweep out any excess. By doing this, we're gonna make sure that your concealer is nice and set, but you still have a smooth and even finish. Beautiful, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this moving. I have a little bit of blush now from MAC Cosmetics, and this is a 3-dimensional blush. Now the reason why I want to use this guy over your regular matte blush is because this is going to be a blush and a highlight. We're covering two things at once again, okay? Once again, this is for all my ladies on the go, okay? Load up your brush, tap it directly onto the cheekbones at the highest point. Now instead of going from the front to the back, you actually want to go from the back to the front, alrighty? By applying from the back to the front, you're going to see that the cheekbone is going to have this soft and airbrush finish, which is going to make sure that you have this youthful and glowy look all day. When we apply directly from the front to the back of the cheekbones, that's when we start looking like our grandmas, and ain't nobody want to look like Grandma Rosie, okay? So let's do this one more time, guys. From the back of the cheekbone, we're gonna go to the front, gently applying straight to the back, and notice how this immediately gives Ebony the soft and glowy finish without having to do the blush and the highlight and the bronzer. We have it all in one instead. Now let's say you do want a little extra glow. You can take your NARS highlight here in Tribulation and streak that directly across the cheekbones. Now we don't always do this in studio because we like matte makeup in studio, but when you're at home and you just want this dewy, fresh, glowy look, it's gonna be perfect for you. So we're gonna finish off with a little bit of setting spray, okay? Now we're not gonna use just any setting spray. We're gonna use Jaray Cosmetics Slay All Day Spray. This is gonna make sure that you have a beautiful, long-lasting finish that's gonna last all day. Go ahead and close, Ebony. Just a couple spritz is gonna make sure that you stay gorgeous all day, honey. Now, Ebony, I want you to take a look just to see how you're looking today. How do you feel?
Oh my gosh, I feel great. Like I feel like it's natural and I can do it all day.
Right? Of course, love. Now you guys remember, you can always catch Ebony on Daily Blast Live. I do the makeup for all the hosts, so if you ever have questions, feel free to write in on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram and ask any of your questions. I'm gonna be here for you guys with Beauty Blast Live. We'll see you next time though.
Yay, go Jaray!
Thanks for watching Daily Blast Live.
Did you know that we are live on YouTube every weekday for 3.5 hours?
Did you also know that we upload exclusive new video like crazy?
Stuff like breaking news, celebrity interviews, viral videos, new apps, new food, new perspectives on the world we live in right as it's happening.
So please subscribe and check out some more videos. Go ahead. We'll wait.